Well, accomplishing a major athletic feat is one thing, but coming back years later to do it all over again is something else. Pat Helberg found one Salem man ready to do just that.
30 years ago this week, Ray Youngberg hopped on a bicycle in Portland and rode straight through to Salt Lake City, 800 miles non-stop. The trip took 4 days. 30 years later, he's Dr. Ray Youngberg, a periodontist in Salem. Dr. Youngberg is 52 years old now, but he's just as ambitious, maybe even more ambitious than ever. Early Saturday morning, Dr. Youngberg will recreate the journey. Once again, he'll leave Portland and bike non-stop to Salt Lake City. Only this time, he says it won't take over 4 days. He plans to get there in less than 3 days. It would be a physical and mental challenge for anyone of any age. Dr. Youngberg believes he is prepared.
Well, 52 is a state of mind, and I feel that I'm in good shape mentally, and I just want to see how much the body can take. I think I can do it.
There is no question that the doctor is in shape. He has been racing bicycles off and on for almost 40 years. To prepare for this trip, he has been riding 400 miles a week. The one thing he has not been able to train for, staying awake for 3 days.
You just try to get enough rest beforehand and keep it in your head that you got to stay awake. I've got 2 vans and a motorhome as support vehicles, so in case I do get tired, I can lay down for an hour and then get moving again.
At 12:01 Saturday morning, Dr. Youngberg heads down I-84 on a challenging adventure. Too challenging for someone who is 52?
We'll find out come Monday, but I plan on being there.
From Salem, Pat Helberg, Newsroom 6 Sports.
Once I get to Tremont, I got about 4.5 hours, unless I...
Of course, it changes it.
I'll go
out to run, and I'll start off coming back. I'll be great. When I come back, it switches, and I'm facing.
And it's about, I don't know what it is from here. You got...
It's 8 miles or so. It's only
Just in a casual while he's eating breakfast kind of thing, or what do you think?
Here's our other 20 miles.
You get kind of sick of it?
Every time he stops, he gets a cup. Yeah.
Terrific. Yeah, we're shooting for anything, but there's nothing in the pancakes, babe.
There's syrup.
Where?
I think the butter melted on the side for you.
I don't care about the butter. I've been...
Does it feel like 660 miles so far?
Well, actually, I feel fresher than I anticipated. Although
dancing tonight then?
well, we'll take a rain check on that, but I lost it a couple times.
Did you?
I hit the wall.
So you've hit 2 walls so far?
Yeah, significant ones. I rode the first 200 miles in 11 hours and 46 minutes, and I've never done that before. And then right after that, I hit the wall.
Yeah.
And so the crew took charge, which they've done all the way through, and put me to bed for an hour in Pendleton, Oregon.
6 hours total sleep.
6 hours total sleep since, well, you started midnight, but the last time you slept before
was Thursday night.
Thursday night.
Yeah. And then after I got up from that sleep in Pendleton, I had to climb 9 miles up Cabbage Hill out of Pendleton. And that, we went over that without much effort and cruised. I've had a couple of riding partners, and they just ride beside me, but I set the pace.
Oh, okay.
And
you're not drafting off them?
No drafting. This is mine. And then yesterday morning, about 25 miles out of Boise, I lost it again.
Oh, did you?
And
But you slept in Boise, right?
Yeah, I had a struggle to get into Boise. I couldn't get over 14 miles an hour out of my legs.
That's where the winds were so bad, 30-mile-an-hour winds.
And then I get into Boise, and they put me to bed for 3 hours, and then we started out from Boise, and we got to Twin Falls last night, and I slept for an hour, and then I came on this side of Burley, where the freeway turns south, and I told them to wake me up in an hour because I wasn't really making a headway and didn't feel that I had control of the situation. So everybody was fatigued and we overslept. So I got about 3 hours, but in...
Are you going to fire them?
No way.
2 hours. You got 2 hours and 10.
Yeah. In retrospect, a little more sleep did me good, you know. But now I'm feeling pretty good. I came off that Sweetener, is it the Sweetener Pass? Sweetser Pass up here. Just rolling for about 10 miles, 30 to 37 miles an hour.
So you felt like...
I felt good, and I wasn't really pushing myself, but you know, it's an emotional thing, and your condition changes constantly. How you feel, you know, you feel strong, and then you feel like you haven't got it, and then you come back, and it's a real exercise in mental gymnastics and physiology.
You felt like quitting yet?
Quitting? Oh no.
Okay.
That's not his nature.
No, we're going.
I mean, there's never been a time when you said, not this time.
No. This is something that I did 30 years ago, and I want to repeat it, but I want to give up my best shot, and I think we're doing it.
What's changed in 30 years?
Everything. There's 2-lane highways 30 years ago, where now we got freeway all the way. The bicycle that I rode on there, rode then, which was the state of the art, is now considered a touring bike, and I had steel cranks and everything that was, you know, was all up to date. But it's a real change.
How about the, can you compare the two? I mean, do you remember that ride 30 years ago to say, I feel better then, or I feel better now, or boy, it was prettier back then?
Well, I was just a kid then, you know, 22 years old and in the Air Force, and I decided that I'd ride home to see my folks, and the Air Force publicity office heard about it, and I was ordered to have interviews and one thing and another at that time, and I carried a pack on the back of the saddle, and I just rode during daylight hours and stayed in motels at night.
You didn't have a couple of vans, you didn't have a support crew?
No, so we're playing the game entirely different now, and the effort I put into it when I was 22 was the same effort I'm putting into it now.
Yeah. You feel pretty good right now about getting the record?
Oh yeah.
There's no question?
No. My goal was to break 3 days, and it looks like we're going to do that significantly. And when I started out, I wanted to set a time between Portland and Boise of a day and a half, and we came in at 31 hours and 45 minutes. And my goal for Salt Lake from Portland was 3 days, and we'll hit it somewhere around 2 days and probably 16 hours.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you eat a little bit. Are you hungry when you stop? I mean, are you hungry now for breakfast?
No, but I gotta keep putting fuel in the furnace.
Because that furnace is burning, isn't it?
Oh yeah, because boy, you hit the wall quick when you don't have the food. You can just feel yourself, and you go through calories so fast. You're burning probably 700 calories an hour, and you multiply that by around the clock, and you're still burning fat off your body.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you eat a little bit, and then I'll ask you a few more questions after that. Would that be all right?
Sure.
I don't want everything to get too cold on you.
Oh, nothing matters anymore.
Whether it's warm or cold. Energies, huh?
Brown's over here. He's a guy that...
Who's the...
Hey, the videotape that I had in one of the boxes.
It's got energy, you know that? Okay, I'm gonna get on this side. Okay. You want to look at it this way?
It's fine.
Okay. What do you think? I mean,
well, it's quite a feat, I'll tell you that. It's nothing that I don't think that I would ever undertake, and most people wouldn't either. It's probably they call it marathon cycling, and that's exactly what it is. When you ride that far, although there are rest stops, the number of hours sleep that he's had has not been significant, maybe 6 or 8 hours at the most, I think 6 to this point. It seems to me that you have to have a real mindset on what you're doing. You have to be able to get that mindset in conjunction with the body movements in order to make the thing work, and it's just tough. It isn't easy.
Have you noticed any problems with him?
The last probably 50 miles he hasn't been as spry, but after he slept last night, I think he's improved 100%.
Last night was the worst part.
Yeah, last night. I think once he gets over that mountain there, it's all over. I mean, he's all downhill.
Crew chief, what do you have to do? I mean, you've organized everything. No. Have you done anything wrong?
No, I don't think. I think that the only reason he gave me that title was to encourage me to help him. However, he bought the equipment. He knew what he wanted to do in that respect, and had anything gone wrong, I would have been able to repair it, I believe. And that was the main purpose. And then the follow organization, were just every rest stop Jim and I have been trading, following. The reason you can't do it all at once, we don't have enough people. If we had 3 people to a car, then we could probably follow constantly. But you get so tired at 12, 15, 20 miles an hour, sitting there is pretty boring.
Did you do anything wrong? Looking back now, and it looks like you've got it. You get over the hill. What would you do differently? Anything? Have you guys prepared for? Has it been easier or tougher? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't think that anything has been done wrong necessarily. I think the preparation that Ray made has been very good because he, got all these people together initially to do this with him, and they've, especially Franz, has been a great help and encouragement because Franz has ridden with him during the daytime about 175 miles a day, and so he's talked to him and helped to encourage him along that line. So Franz, by the way, is 69 years old, and he is retired, and that's all he does is run or ride his bike now.
Oh.
Of course, he has other things, but that's basically his hobbies.
Okay. So you guys are going to be in a 4. It's going to be easy.
Should be once we get to the top of that hill.
You ever felt sorry for him?
Well, I thought to myself that I wouldn't want to be doing that. The longest I've ever ridden in one day is about 175 miles. And, it wasn't that bad, but I sure felt it the next day. So it's pretty beyond my scope to imagine anybody being able to just continue day and night.
Has he impressed you?
Yeah, he has. He's very strong. Very strong.
Mentally or physically?
Both.
Okay.
You have to be mentally to get your things to work, your body to work, And he is strong physically.
Okay.
But I was so far away from
Okay.
It didn't look that way. It looked like you were about.
Okay. Riding with him, have you noticed a difference? Have you ridden today yet with him?
No, no.
Okay, so have you seen a difference from now than when he started Friday night?
No, we seem to get stronger all the time.
What do you guys talk about out there? Do you talk much?
Yeah, no, now and then. Sometimes we go a whole spell without saying anything, and then we do nothing but talking. It's funny, but that's the way it is.
Would you like to be doing this yourself?
No. I need too much sleep. Ray can get by on about 3 hours sleep, but I have to have about 6 hours sleep. 2 or 3 nights in a row, and I wouldn't. My time never would be as good.
Who gives whom 30 years ago?
Well, back in the mid-50s, a guy named Ray Youngberg dominated cycling here in the state of Utah, and few took notice when he rode his bike from Portland to Salt Lake. But as Steve Cyphers reports, that was then, this is now.
Ray Youngberg was young and fit in '57, a 22-year-old airman stationed in Portland. He works in Salem now as a periodontist. Though he's older, he's still fit. To prove it, he left Portland just after midnight Saturday morning and he headed for home, just like he did 30 years ago.
It's not too often that a guy gets to do something twice so far apart.
A lot has changed since that first ride. The bikes are better, the roads are wider. But the distance between towns is still the same. So is Ray Youngberg, the athlete.
The effort I put into it when I was 22 was the same effort I'm putting into it now.
On his first trip, Ray rode alone. He slept in motels and he finished in just more than 4 days. This trip, he planned to finish in 3. Sleep came sparingly and only when necessary. At times, longtime friend Franz Powles would ride by his side.
Who gives whom emotional support?
Ray gives it all to me. He said, this is going to be the last hill till our next stop. And then it turns out there are about 5 more little hills.
Those hills were but a small part of the challenge.
It's an emotional thing, and your condition changes constantly. How you feel, you know, you feel strong, and then you feel like you haven't got it.
You felt like quitting yet?
Quitting? Oh, no.
No one could stop Youngberg. Only his support crew could slow him down. They forced him to eat.
I got to keep putting fuel in the furnace.
Because that furnace is burning, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
The furnace full, Youngberg left Snowville 57 hours into the ride. 6 of those were spent sleeping. The rest were spent cycling.
We've really made some time. I should not us. The guy up front's made some great time lately.
Yeah, he sure has.
With family and friends at the finish line, the 800-mile trip was over almost 65 hours after it began. Ray Youngberg told me later it was worth it, but you could see that from his smile. Steve Cyphers, Eyewitness Sports.
Well, it's great to see somebody accomplish that. I think the pancakes, though, did it. I think that's what fueled
You
it.
think those pancakes? I think determination had something to do with it.
Yeah, I do too.
That's a great feat.
It really is.
Thanks, Greg.